I'm alive. I'm alive, I guess. I'm alive, I guess. And I'm here. I'm alive, I guess. I'm alive, I guess. Hey, so we might as well talk about it. Can we talk?
What's up, y'all? Welcome to your safe space. I'm your host, RJ, and this is the Alive, I Guess podcast. If you're new here, welcome. I appreciate you for joining. And if you've been here, welcome back. I appreciate you as always. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Facebook at Alive, I Guess podcast. For inquiries, email aliveiguesspodcast@gmail.com. And for I Say This With Love submissions, visit tinyurl.com/AIGP advice. Today, we're going to be talking about heartbreak because Valentine's Day is approaching, and what better time to discuss the topic? I know you're supposed to feel like love is in the air and be looking forward to being showered with gifts and all the romance and such, but that's not the case for everybody. Some people actually hate Valentine's Day. I'm not one of those people. I personally don't celebrate Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day, but that's a different story. But you know me, I'm going to talk about the bad with the good because there's so many people talking about the good. Let's get into the bad. But before we do that, you already know we got to take a moment to give some gratitude. So if you're listening today, say something to yourself that you are grateful for. And if you're watching, drop something below in the comments. Today, I am grateful for the chance to try again tomorrow. I will say that again. I am grateful for the chance to try again tomorrow. In the words of Glorilla, every day the sun won't shine, but that's why I love tomorrow. Some days are going to be hard. Some days it's going to feel like you are starting back over at zero. It's going to feel like you've completely undone all the work that you've initially put in. It's going to be rough. But tomorrow, you always got that new opportunity. And that's why I love tomorrow. So I am grateful to have that opportunity of a new chance tomorrow. But all right, let's get into it. Because heartbreak, unfortunately, be happening. It's been a while since I've been heartbroken. It's been about 10 years, a decade since I've been heartbroken, actually. But I still remember, boy, that shit hurts. That heartbreak, specifically from a relationship, it's tough. You feel like you done damn near died. You feel like you can't move or breathe or think clearly. It's just so debilitating. Like nothing is going to pull you out of this funk. How do you continue on without this person? As a person who has pulled themselves out of heartbreak and has found themselves in a great relationship turned marriage, I can tell you, if you are in heartbreak right now, it does get better. You do heal, you do learn, you do grow, and if you're lucky, you do find somebody better. But I remember those days feeling down and out, days where I feel like I couldn't talk to anybody. There was a lot of isolation. There was a lot of tears, a lot of blaming and trying to understand what I did wrong, what was wrong with me. A lot of trying to rationalize other people's behaviors and actions and just trying to think of things to justify the heartbreak. But sometimes you just gotta let that shit hit because pain is a great educator and you can learn a lot from some heartache and some heartbreak. It's not fun, but once you get on the other side of it, there are things that you can reflect on and be like, you know what? I'm kind of glad and thankful that I was able to learn that lesson in that situation. But the bulk of it that you're feeling in heartbreak is going to be grief. There's grief of not having this person anymore, grief of not having the familiarity anymore, grief of the person that you were in the relationship, grief of what the future was going to be that's no longer going to happen. Like there's a lot of grief around heartbreak. And even if we talk about heartbreak in the sense of loss of a person who's no longer with us, or maybe you didn't get an opportunity that you were really banking on. It comes from love more than anything, which is why I feel it's called heartbreak, because it's like the love that you have is shattered because the situation is over, the relationship is ended, the thought of the future concluded, like it's not happening. So there's going to be some grieving, there's going to be some processing and just relearning and sitting with emotions when you are in some heartbreak. Most of the time, once you have gone through a breakup and you're experiencing the heartache, you get a lot of reminders from people who might not understand what has happened. Where is so and so? I haven't seen so and so, or I just saw so and so. Like, I don't care. I'm holding on for dear life. I don't need these reminders, please. So you kind of get these re triggers usually when you're in heartbreak, because it seems like your world is somehow still about this person, or people seem to bring things to you about this person or this situation, and you are just trying to move on with your life. So it's a lot of like, just let me be, let me move forward. But there are these moments where we tend to get brought back and pulled back into the past for different reasons. Oh man, when I was with my ex in college. First of all, it was my first female woman relationship. So, you know, that first one hurt. And if you don't know, that first one hurt. If you're lucky enough, like my wife is, the first one is the only one. She has not experienced heartbreak, and I love that for her, because sometimes you don't need to go through that to understand. But once you've been through it, man, the R&B songs hit a little different. I won't go into detail, but I heard Friend of Mine by Kelly Price a couple times before in my life. But this one particular time, I heard it maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and the way that shit hit me in the chest, oh, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of get down with the sad emotions that you can resonate with, the sad songs that come from heartbreak. Ooh, I'm very melancholic. I'm kind of into that. But that's not to say I love heartbreak, not at all. But being able to relate to them songs where they just crying, pleading on their knees in tears, going through it. It's like, yeah, get up. I get it. It's gonna be all right. But to make a long story short, my ex and I, as I mentioned, we were involved on and off for about a year. She was the first woman that I had ever been with, and it was very much the whole situation. Um, there was a lot of cutting things off and going back, and let's try to be friends, and we can't be friends. I don't want to talk to you. And we're spending every moment of the day together, high key living together at one point, to not seeing you for days, months, at another point, to now we're hanging out and acting like we don't feel the way we feel about each other because we're trying to keep this boundary, to eventually that boundary gets crossed in the future, to then you got to put the boundary back in play. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot on the heart. And so it's going to be difficult to sever that tie. So when the time came that it was finally time to quit playing with myself and to end this relationship, it took me about a year to get over it. I don't know if this is scientifically backed or what sort of statistic there is to prove this, but I heard the heartbreak lasts, in terms of a relationship, the heartbreak lasts as long as the relationship did. I don't know if that is true, but I know for my case, it was about a year dealing with this person, took about a year to get over them. And I tried to get over them by getting with other people. And you really just got to sit in the uncomfortable and go through the process of said heartbreak. Because the thing is, you're gonna run into the urges to go back to what's comfortable and go back to what's familiar and to go back to alleviate this hurt that you are feeling, even when you know you shouldn't, even when you know they are no good for you. We're only human and we're dealing with love. Like, you're gonna fall victim to your heart sometimes. It's just part of it. Like, I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do this because it just hurts so much without it. I get it. I get it. I say back and forth for a year because it was back and forth for a year. I think the only actual amount of time we were together, like actually, like in an actual declared relationship, was like a few days. Isn't that crazy? But it don't matter because when you love and when you're loving a person, I don't know about in love, but there is love involved. Stepping away from that is going to hurt. And that's why heartbreak can go with any sort of situation. It could be a family member, a friend, someone that you haven't even met before. It could be online. It can be a celebrity. It can be an opportunity because you committed so much of your time, your effort, you counted your money before you had it, so to speak. You saw yourself in the opportunity. You saw what life would be like once you had it, and then you didn't. That's crushing. So it's going to take a little bit of sitting with that uncomfortable feeling to process it. But when you do, there's a lot that you can learn from it. But before we jump to that, just recognizing, like, yes, those urges are going to happen. You are going to want to go back. You are going to want to fold. Without saying too much, I've folded a couple times. It happens. We can only do so much in the fight. Trust me when I say I was fighting not to fold. But when you love this person, when you are involved with this person for so long, and you've been through things and there are memories and you share experiences to where y'all got the inside jokes, you meet family, you meet friends, your friends and their friends become one. Like, it's hard to walk away from that. And then there is just the fact that sometimes when you're lonely and you're sitting in these feelings and you know that this person is no good or whatever you are coming up with and you're processing, what we think we need is to go back, but we're really just lonely. We're really just processing. We're really just grieving. And so, what I have learned being on the other side of it and being 10 years older than I was when I was originally going through heartbreak is that feelings could get mixed and we can think the solution to a feeling is one thing, but it's usually not. It's just the easiest and the most comfortable. If I were to deal with heartbreak again today, I'd understand that I'm just feeling lonely and I'm just feeling sad about not having this person and reminiscent of memories and times together. But I'd have such an understanding of this isn't good for me, or if it's an opportunity, like if it was for me, it would be here. And I think that's true of a relationship. If this person is for me, or if this opportunity is for me, it will make its way back to me. And if it doesn't, it ain't for me. And so I would sit with that along with all the negative emotions that I would naturally have from being hurt and find more comfort in that. But before a little 20 something year old me, oh, child, there is one summer, well, the summer post breakup when things just kind of hit the fan. Things were revealed about past times together. This person goes back to who was causing the issue when we were together. It's just like you feel hurt, you feel betrayed, and sometimes you just need to feel it deeply. This is, again, at the time when I'm drinking. A lot of past stories, when they're like negative, usually got some drinking involved. Bear with me. But at the time, I really loved the song Resentment by Beyonce, specifically the live version. The track off the album, cool. The live, So it's a summer day. I'm trying to heal through my hurt, right? And I've been out with friends. They know I just went through a breakup. We drinking, chilling. And then I come home and I'm a little toasty. And I go to my mom's room and I'm on some sort of rant about being hurt. And then my aunt comes to the room and they're just standing there looking at me like, oh boy, like this poor child is hurt. And I was like, I want to hear resentment. So I put it on. And baby, when she got to that, you could have told me you weren't happy. I wept. And my mom was like, oh no, let's turn this on. Because I was down bad. Oh man, I was so heartbroken. I'm like, I will never recover. I will never love again. I am denouncing women, people, anybody. Don't talk to me, don't touch me, don't call me, leave me alone. I'm just like, I don't want to put myself in this position again, ever, ever. And there had been a lot of moments like that, more so by myself with other friends. I'm playing songs. They hear resentment going off in my dorm room. They, oh, hey, you all right? You good? Hold on. Like, let's make sure you cool. Like, yeah, music and heartbreak. Mm, that, I will say that is a gift from heartbreak is the music really does kind of get you through, makes you feel better if you find the right things. I listen to some songs today and I think about like if I was in that space of being sad or heartbroken or just considering going back to someone, like some songs today, would be my vibe on repeat. Please. But some of the old hits I used to mess with during my time, uh Bryson Tiller, that album, that main album, The Weekend, Original Party Next Door, before Drake got his hands on them. I didn't have Janae Aiko back then, but I wish I did. Oh, I wish I did. Janae would have got me through, because she get me through today with my own emotional issues and mental health things that aren't heartbreaks. I know she would have been, top tier. But sometimes music can help you get through some heartbreak and some tough times because it'll kind of take you through the process and eventually you will come out on the other side. But also, and you got to tread lightly, music can be a trigger. There was a song in particular that I could not listen to, hadn't listened to in years, because it'll take you back to that moment, to that time. And it's like so wild, the power of music in both the good and the bad. So be careful with music because it can help, but it can also snatch you right back. Speaking of triggers, there are just other general things that linger in the aftermath of going through heartbreak. My relationship took place on my college campus with the person who I went to school with. So there were a lot of places, people, things, topics, events, situations that just constantly reminded me of them. And that can be very difficult when you are trying to get over something, get over someone. Those constant reminders, it kind of makes you want to just run away from everybody and everything so that you potentially can't be triggered by something. But it just kind of happens naturally. It's just part of it because you are releasing yourself from the love and relationship of all things that have to do with this person. Something that also came up for me when I was healing and learning who I was without this person is learning to trust myself again, or even learning that I never fully trusted myself and understanding that I had a lot more growing to do than I thought. So I met my wife probably, the relationship I was in ended in 2020, 2020, 2015. There was some lingering that kind of took us through late 2015. And then 2015 to late 2016, I was involved with other people. And I met my wife late 2016. So she literally came the year after I just ended things with this other person, right? In the early days of my relationship with my wife, that not knowing if I could trust myself, not trusting the situation, I trusted her. I just was so afraid and so jaded that something was going to happen. I didn't put myself in situations to get hurt again. So, like for example, me and my wife, we was locked in from jump, like day one, locked in, no question. It took me 3 months to ask her to be my girlfriend. Funny story. She was so tired. She said, "Look, if you didn't ask me today, I was going to ask you." We were actually going to ask each other on the same day. Wild. That's what type of time we was on. But something that came up in my previous relationship, I took into my next relationship because I saw how it backfired in the last one and I didn't want to get hurt in the next one. So, for example, my ex used to trip off me not posting their picture. Well, girl, if we on and off, back and forth, oh, y'all talk again? Oh, y'all not talking? I'm not gonna keep posting pictures when we good and deleting them when we out. Like I'm not gonna do that. So there was a point they want to take pictures like normal and post it. I'm like, I'm not posting that. And it was a problem. But I was like, it's got to be a for sure thing if I post you. Cause 2015, like Instagram back then, you could actually see your shit. Like people actually watched your stuff. There wasn't all this other people's content on your timeline. It's like Instagram was like where you got your updates, right? So fast forward into my pre-relationship with my wife, we taking pictures, but nobody really knows that we are involved. I'm not posting. I'm not sharing with people. Like you have to like know me or know her to know we are involved. Otherwise, you have no clue. And later we discussed like how that bothered her, and I was like, I just needed to be sure, positive. And it wasn't that I didn't trust that you weren't the one. I've just been hurt and I'm still hurt and wounded and trying to heal, that I don't want to put myself in that position again to be hurt, because I can tell I already love you so much and that hurt is going to hurt even more and I can't go through that twice. Fortunately, that was not a deal breaker for us. We moved through it. But that's just an example of how that lack of trust can move into the next relationship. And if you don't catch it or build an awareness or work through it, it could potentially ruin your next relationship. And that's not fair to that person because they didn't do it. You are just a person in need of healing. And so when you're dealing with whatever situation you're dealing with, and you move through the anger that you have for yourself or for the other person, for staying in the relationship longer than you needed, for whatever decisions you made and choices, eventually you get to the part where you learn from the heartbreak. This came for me once I was back in another relationship and put in similar scenarios that kind of made me face old patterns and behaviors that I was doing before, and building awareness of like, oh, this is something that has come up before. This is how it played out in the past. I didn't like how that ended and what that result came to, like what that result was. And so this is an opportunity to do things differently, or maybe just even express your concerns, your reservations, things that you are dealing with internally. I was very open with my wife, like, I am still learning to trust myself. I'm still learning things about myself, and I don't want to mess this up. So, how can we go about this that works for both of us. Because just like I'm experiencing this relationship, she is experiencing this relationship back. And even if you are learning, like she's going to have her own experience with what's happening in it. So you might be trying and doing things differently, but it doesn't mean it works for where you are now. But at least it presents the opportunity to catch it, check it, change it in terms of behaviors and patterns that you were bringing in from the past. I was a angry, angry little duck during my first relationship. I'd never been like that in the past, like before them, and I didn't understand where it was coming from when I was with them. I did not like it. I wasn't no DV or nothing like that. I didn't put my hands on nobody, but I was just very explosive. I got so angry one time because I felt so disrespected because of the situation that this person did, again, was drinking, that I beat up a door, like damn near tore that bitch down with my fists. Like I put a lot of holes in a lot of doors. I put a lot of dents in concrete doors. Like I broke phones. Like I was just so volatile and explosive when we would argue at a distance. Like this wasn't in like their face. This was when I was by myself trying to process. Like I was just so emotional, and now reflecting, knowing that that anger was just a mask to cover up the hurt that it was actually hiding. I was so hurt. And once I understood that, moving into the relationship with my wife, I'm like, I first of all, I don't ever want to be that angry ever again. Second of all, I know that anger was hurt, and I know you got the ability, if you wanted to hurt me bad, because I'm in this for the long haul. And so I'm like, look, I don't want to go there. She knows I have a past of being angry and how that kind of manifested in my new relationship. It wouldn't turn to that, but then it would turn to me like leaving, like separating myself, which is better than being like explosive, but also that doesn't really make me seem reliable in terms of conflict resolution. It's like every time there's a problem, you leave because you don't want to get mad or blow up. And so I had to really just like catch it, because although it was different from what I was doing, it still didn't work in this new situation. I had to reassess. First, I had to be aware that that was happening, reassess, and determine what it is that I wanted. And that ultimately turned to, when emotions get high, when feelings get hurt, expressing that. Sometimes I can't express that in the moment. Sometimes it's like, hey, I need a beat. I feel myself getting upset when there are very emotional, heavy topics. Can we take a pause on this and we can talk about it later so that we can be in a space to where we can discuss this further? That looks a lot better than me putting a hole in a door, which fortunately my wife has never seen. I left that version of me in my 20s, early 20s in past relationship. But you got to be able to recognize the pattern, and that only comes once you have been opened and hurt and wounded and brought to a vulnerable point to where you can take a look at these things. So unfortunately, pain is not fun. Pain is inevitable, and pain is a great teacher. So you can learn things from pain. You can get through pain. It might not be enjoyable, but there are lessons and beauty in pain. Another thing that I absolutely, probably the biggest thing that I learned from heartbreak and from the past is boundaries. It's some shit I'm not accepting again. Never. And that's not necessarily to say like from someone that I'm in a romantic relationship. It's just like boundaries of how people engage with me, boundaries of what people do, like themes of what people do. For example, you can't play in my face. You can't blatantly disrespect me once I tell you, hey, I don't like this. And then you go about and you do it anyway. Oh, okay. That'll be your only time to do that, especially if I've expressed it to you and you were making the choice to still show up and do this. Oh, no. So it definitely taught me boundaries and how I interact with those around me. It taught me that some things that I saw as boundaries in the past were really just me putting my guard up. So it really just kind of sifted through the things that were good for me and the things that really needed to be checked and changed. But it's hard to check and change those things when you're in them. So you need to go back and reflect on them once you've kind of removed yourself. And that usually comes at the cost of heartbreak. And although that 20-something-year-old RJ was so hurt and did not see the light at the end of the tunnel and did not think they could pull themselves out of that heartbreak, they did. They made it. And they got a relationship that was a soulmate that is, honestly, when I look back on everything that I went through, worth it because it taught me everything that I know about myself, about relationships. It caught the bad behaviors before I could bring it into this relationship. And it allowed me the opportunity to see what I don't want to say it was a bad relationship because my past relationship wasn't terrible. So I won't say that. But it got to show me the difference between a relationship that I do want and I do see myself having for the rest of my life and one that I thought I wanted, but actually did not want, nor was it for me. And so, although heartbreak is never fun and it's not easy, healing is not easy. Healing is not linear. There are going to be backslides, there are going to be moments of weakness, there are going to be moments of folding. You can get through it. You can learn things, you can build on it, and you can make yourself into a better, more healed, more educated, more refined individual and take that self into a new relationship that is worthy of this version of you. It's a great teacher. You can learn so much about yourself. And hopefully, you can get to a point where you can look back and be like, I'm grateful for the lessons that I was taught in this heartbreak, in this hard moment of my life. Since then, especially in my early days of sobriety, I did a lot of recounting and thinking about the past and specifically that relationship because although there were a lot of things that they did, there were things that I did. Like there's no reason I should have been yelling and screaming and causing a scene. A lot of it was because I was drinking. And so, like, one day I owned everything that I did in the relationship. And I'm like, look, I know we were young. I know we went through some things. There were things I was dealing with that I did not realize until years later. And, I just want to own that part, apologize for that part, and wish you all the best of luck. Well, almost, because that's another story for another day. Another story for another day. But to me, that was like closing that chapter officially because there wasn't real closure in it. And I needed that for myself. And that was the biggest indicator of like, wow, I am healed. And it was affirming to that poor child that was in that bed crying to some Beyonce. Like, you can make it out of it. It is okay. Look, you found the love of your life now. Who would have thought? But that all came because you were so jaded that you were open to an opportunity that turned into literally your entire world, your wife, the future mother of your children. So there are so many blessings that can come with heartbreak, even though it might not feel like it when you in it. Trust me, I understand. So if you are dealing with heartbreak right now, first of all, my heart goes out to you. But I hope you can learn to love yourself again without abandoning yourself or getting lost in the grief and the heaviness of the heartbreak. I hope you are able to come to a place where you can see the lessons and see the opportunities for growth within this moment of heartbreak, and you come out on the other side a better, restored person ready to take on the next venture, relationship, whatever you decide at the end of it. And I hope that as you go through this heartbreak, you can learn to be alone without needing to go back to what is familiar and what is comfortable, because we both know how it ends. We both know it doesn't change. And so be okay with sitting in that discomfort, because it's going to teach you and get you through things that going back and repeating patterns will never teach you. It's just going to keep you in that loop, in that cycle, until you're finally ready to learn what it is that you were supposed to learn from this lesson. The answer is not in the cycle, babe. It's in releasing the cycle. It's in sitting alone and moving forward. Because if you were supposed to be with this person or supposed to be in this situation, it'd be working out a little bit different. And I hope whenever the time comes that you are ready to love again, that you love with an open heart, full of trust, with new established boundaries, and a new, complete, holistic self love for yourself. Because as much love as you were looking to put into the next person, you deserve that same amount of love. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for I Say This With Love. And if you are new here, I Say This With Love is a segment where I read submissions that people write in asking me for advice on a certain topic or situation that they're dealing with. If you are interested in having your submission read on this segment, you would visit tinyurl.com/AIGP advice. Submit your situation there. It is completely anonymous, free. Just drop the situation there, leave out any identifiers, and I will read it on this segment. I'm not gonna lie, I saw the topic of this one and I was like, this is gonna fit beautifully into this episode. I'm 2 seconds away from folding. I want to call them. I want to see them. I miss it so much. But I know he is so toxic for me. And it'll end as it always does, in shambles. But it's cold out here. I miss cuddling. I miss being all around him. But I don't miss the cheating. I don't miss the fights, nor the drama. Help me stay strong. It's been 8 long days, and I haven't given in yet. But Kaylani got me ready to make that drive. I know you're married, so you probably can't relate, but talk some sense into me, please. Boy, Kaylani would have me ready to make a drive too. I'm not gonna hold you. I say this with love. You know this person. You said it yourself. You know what's on the other side of you folding. Yes, it might allow for some instant gratification, but it's just gonna rope you right back in all that toxicity, all the mess, all the games, the manipulation. I'm gonna do better. If I had to guess, I'd guess this isn't the first time this has happened with this person. So it won't be the last if you go back. I understand the comfort. It is cold out here. I get it. I get it. I don't know if you're with this person for the holidays. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is, but I know historically when I folded, it just made things worse. It just made things more complicated. And the fact that you have survived these 8 days, because it is a survival. I understand. I one time went 4 days, thought it was damn near 4 months. Like the moments just go by so slowly when you in these situations. But the fact that you have been able to make it a week and a day without talking to this person just goes to show that you can't make it without them. Just take it a moment at a time, a day at a time, a second at a time. Every little decision when you about to text them or answer the call or make the drive over there, remember what that comes with, because it's just more than that. It's getting back on that wheel, getting back on that horse of BS and games. I understand urges. I understand being deprived of things, but there are solutions. I suggest you look into purchasing some. But you stay strong, babe. It's gonna be okay. Don't give in to that man. Don't call him. Don't answer that phone. Block him. Keep him blocked. Don't unblock him because you bored or because you think you're stronger than you are. We are in the early stages. Well, this is the infant phase. You aren't that strong. You gonna give in. So block them, keep them blocked. Don't look at them pictures. Just hold out. You need to put some time and space in between it. And right now you fresh. You're fresh. You're gonna give in. So don't listen to Kaylani. Dare I say. Don't let your body decide, because it's gonna decide against your wishes and your future self. So just stay away. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Take some deep breaths and stay strong. But don't go back, because you're gonna be writing in a few weeks with the same shit. And if you have caved by this moment, I get it. But it's not too late. Walk away, because it might be good, but it's gonna go bad. Because it went bad the last time. And the time before that, I'm sure. Right? Right? So you know what to do. Let that man go. All right, y'all. That is all for this episode today. As a reminder, be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Threads at Alive I Guess Podcast. For all inquiries, email aliveiguesspodcast@gmail.com. And if you are interested in having your submission read on I Say This With Love, visit tinyurl.com/AIGP advice. Now, I've got exciting news. You know what comes at this moment. Usually Patreon is just $7. Well, guess what? We're doing something a little bit different. So it is February. It is almost Pisces season, which is the best season of the entire year. It's the best month of the entire year. And it's my birthday month. And I thought, what a great way to honor my birthday, Black History Month, just all the great strides that we as a people and us, the community of AIGP, are making. I made the decision, my gift to you. For the month of February, you can join the homies, my Patreon subscription, 6 months free, no charge. But you have to act in February. So you have today through literally February 28th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific to accept this offer. I will link it in the bio. It'll be in my link tree. You can find it anywhere. There's plenty of seats, plenty of availability, but there is a limit. So once that limit is hit, or we get to March 1st, it's over. And we back to the 7. You know what I'm saying? Because a good thing can't last forever. But you got all month to sign up. Plus, when you go, I have a bunch of vlogs, behind the scenes, them things called moments where I'm just kind of going on these rants, so to speak, about how I'm feeling. And the official first bonus episode is up and running. So if you are interested in getting all of this for free for the next 6 months, go ahead, hit the link in my bio, and you can get it. But all right, y'all, I appreciate you for joining me today. And as always, I'm RJ. This is the Alive I Guess podcast, and I'll see y'all same time next week.
I'm alive.